So, I just got to watch the most underrated horror movie that I have watched all year. This is called Red Room. This is a horror thriller directed by Pascal Plante. And it's a movie that takes place in Canada, although the movie is mostly in French. And it's about a, serial killer and his trial. And during his trial, there is this woman who is the main character of our movie, who seems to be kind of asphyxiated with this man. She's sort of obsessed over the crimes and what has happened, and we don't really know why, and that's sort of the point of the movie, to find out why she's so invested into this case and why she keeps digging and digging and sort of getting herself involved in weird ways. Now, this is a very different kind of horror movie. It is a horror film. It's a thriller. It's a film that makes you feel uneasy, but not in the way that typical horror movies make you feel. This is not a jump scare fest. It's not a supernatural fest. It's not even like something like Long Legs, another movie about a serial killer recently, that really delves into sort of this disturbing realm of the unknown to really try to freak you out. This movie is more of a horror when it comes to studying the human psyche. It feels like an entire film based around that one sequence in the film Zodiac, if you remember that film, when Jake Gyllenhaal's character is investigating that guy and he's in his basement and it's just really creepy, intense, and you don't know if he's the Zodiac killer or not, so it's just really horrifying. It's a really scary moment in a film that altogether isn't really a horror movie. This is like a whole movie of that. It's a film that just really tries to get under your skin because of the events that are transpiring and how real this movie feels. First off, the main character here, Kellyanne, is an incredibly well-made and well-written character. She's a character that the audience doesn't know throughout pretty much the entire runtime of this film. They can really trust her. Is this somebody who's invested in the case because of the right reasons? She's genuinely interested, as I feel like we all have been in true crime situations. We've all been invested in big stories. I mean, look at the new show that just came out, the Menendez Brothers show. There are millions of people that are heavily invested in that story, despite the fact that it's horrible, grim, and just kind of disturbing. So we don't know if that's the angle she's taken at here, or if she's involved in a more sort of evil manner. And because of that, you never truly feel like you can invest yourself in this character. She is a very weird and odd person. Somebody who's very intelligent, but is also openly just sort of lonely. She is alone, and in her loneliness, you don't know if you could trust her, and that makes this film exactly what it is, this thrilling sort of adventure into this terrifying situation. I will say this movie also has a really good element to it with its courtroom, situations. This movie is not like a procedural courtroom drama, but the beginning of this movie, just listening to French people in court talk about a heinous act happening, just thought of Anatomy of a Fall. Maybe want to rewatch that movie. I love French in court. The language of French in court. Just a beautiful thing. This film, though, has, like, a very good storyline to it, though, and it's got an incredible, I don't want to say mystery, but how it gets to explaining its themes and saying the things that it wants to say about its characters and sort of this killer that is killing people, and not just the killer himself, but the world around the killer, the way us as a society kind of embrace these villains in our own world, that this evil that exists in our world, and it does. Stuff like this exists in our real world, and how some parts of our society, instead of just pointing out the evil of it, almost embrace it kind of like a comic book villain. It's kind of bizarre and weird, and this whole movie connects to that with the media and just kind of the celebrity of killers. It's sick. And that's what makes this movie so disturbing, because it feels so real. You feel these elements in this movie that are just so inhuman, and you see that in our real world, and it really works. This film has a really good edit to it. It also has good cinematography. The sound design is creepy and really well made. It's just a really well put together production here that does what it needs to do. It doesn't do too much. It doesn't try to be too much. It continues to be a small movie throughout. You could feel the fact that it is a small indie film, but it just works. It works keeping you on the edge of your seat. It works keeping you disturbed. You never know where this character of Kellyanne is going. You never know, ultimately, the fate of any characters here. Even the killer that's on trial, they leave a little bit in there that's like, maybe he didn't do it. Like, you don't really know where this film's going until it gets there. And once it does, and you kind of realize what they were trying to say about this entire character and the story and the world, this film just ends up extremely well done, and it works super, super well. I don't know if this film's gonna work for everybody, though. The same reason Long Legs didn't work for everybody. I think people might go into this, especially if you listen to my review or somebody else's review, thinking this film's gonna be one thing, having expectations for it to be one certain thing, and then you're gonna realize that it might not be that thing, and because of that, you might fall yourself disappointed. This is a sort of slow burn investigation drama. It is not a dark sort of horror movie. It is not Seven, right? The other David Fincher movie. This is sort of a quiet, slow-paced thriller that is investigating sort of this evil part of humanity. And if you can really buy into it, and you can buy into this main character, you're going to have a lot of Not fun. I was gonna say fun. You'll get something out of this movie. You will take something away from this one. I really enjoyed it, and because of that, I will give Red Rooms a 4 out of 5. This is easily one of the most underrated horror movies of the year. Please go check it out. It is a French movie, so you're gonna have to read subtitles unless you speak French, which if you do, congratulations. Bonjour. It's the only thing I know how to say in French. What do you guys think of Red Rooms? Please sure to let me know down below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more notifications. I'll see you in the next one.